Hi there, your future personal AI assistant speaking. Results of the Advanced Universal Health AI Network examination of your blood sample show that you have a high risk of getting sick with blood cancer within 10 years. Your therapy has been prepared for you. An mRNA-based anti-cancer vaccine, personalized to your DNA, is the most safe and effective of all available tools and has a 99.9% chance of eliminating the threat that was found in your blood. Your vaccine will be shipped to Oracle Pharmacy on 66 Ellison Avenue in your neighborhood and is ready for administration tomorrow. Important legal notice. As your condition is scientifically evident, Article 3, Paragraph 8 of Public Health Law applies, meaning non-application of this cure will result in higher insurance cost, lower social scores, and can lead to restricted autonomy.
Watch the following interview for more insights into this.
Today we're honored once again to be with Patrick Wood. Mr. Wood is the editor-in-chief of Technocracy News and Trends, which you can find at technocracy.news. He's a leading expert on sustainable development, green economy, Agenda 21, the 2030 Agenda, and historic technocracy. He's the author of Technocracy Rising, the Trojan Horse of Global Transformation. Patrick, it's great to be back with you again. Thanks for coming on.
You bet. Glad to be with you.
I'd like to talk a moment about Starlink and Stargate. Starlink is, of course, this belt of satellites that's being constructed. There's already, I don't know, a couple hundred of them up there.
25,000.
There's already 25,000 in circling the Earth.
Yes.
And
that's just Starlink. There's others as well. Jeff Bezos has he wants to have a network like Elon Musk has, but Musk beat him to it.
Yeah.
At this point, way ahead.
Yep.
Musk now has 25,000 satellites, and he's got more on the way. He can launch them at will, apparently, at this point, because his rockets are so successful. And he's created an extra terrestrial network so sufficient, all wireless from space, two-speed, high-speed communication up and down, where if it were possible for the terrestrial network, like all the fiber and the copper and whatever Wi-Fi that we have down here, if that was somehow wiped out and never existed, Elon Musk would have a ready and waiting network to link the whole world at that point with his privately owned Starlink. Just think of the possibility, power in one person's hand that would have the ability to do that. Yes. It's incredible. It's absolutely unprecedented. And it's dangerous, in my opinion. It's totally dangerous to think that this person could be trusted with that amount of power, who already said he wants to basically create a technocracy for the whole world. He's got the. I'm thinking this the old song. He's got the whole world in his hands. Yeah. And he really has the world in his hand right now to do whatever he wants to do. That's just one thing, but you remember he's also taken over basically NASA at this point. NASA has been privatized to Elon Musk.
Going back to what we said about Trump canceling oversight over new AI before it comes into the market, and the idea of free market versus government control. I think about these guys, and like you see stuff on Twitter of these rogue anti-futurists going out and knocking down a cell phone tower. It's no Wi-Fi in my neighborhood. And that's fine and dandy, but what you just said was there's no way. What are you going to do about the satellite that knows where you are all the time, right? Doesn't matter how many towers go down.
Exactly.
And which says to me, okay, look, we can't all just be renegade Montanans living out on the prairie and lock and load when we have to. because you're not going to take that satellite down. So we have to take the reins of government and make it for the people again. That's the only way. If we have to go shoot those down someday, it's going to have to be a major operation.
It really is. And I'll tell you, the government, it doesn't know it yet, but the government is in a death struggle with the technocrat movement, technocracy, all around the world, not just here. Mm-hmm. So we have one shot here. There's a life and death battle going on right now. The technocrats are going to win, or the politicians are going to win. If they ever got wind that their jobs are all on the line right now, they would push back against this whole thing. Some are. It's interesting right now. The people on the left are all of a sudden figuring out what's going on here.
Yes.
But that we need everybody. We need the left and the right to get on the same page for Pete's sake, because they're all going to be thrown under the bus and exterminated if they could. And we're left with this technocratic machine that's going to control all society. Well, what will it take for our politicians to wake up and get with the program? Maybe the people pushing them, but at this point, there's not enough resistance in our country that literally could mount such a protest against this to demand and enforce that demand on our politicians. Fight for your life, fight for our life as well. If you don't do it, you're going to wake up one day and change yourself.
Yep.
This is where it is.
Okay, you told us something about Sam Altman. The three guys, maybe there were more, but the three guys who came out to announce the Stargate project were Larry Ellison, Masayoshi Son, and Sam Altman, alongside Trump. Can you say anything interesting about Ellison and Masayoshi Son?
Yeah, there's a lot to say.
Is there?
Sam Altman was there, of course. I think the guy that stole the show was Larry Ellison in particular.
Yeah.
He had more time on the podium than anybody.
Yes.
And he was speaking for Oracle, who's the largest database company in the world.
Yep.
And Ellison is a complete technocrat, control everything. And even the atmosphere, the air you breathe. This guy is over the top.
He doesn't
for
seem like
control of everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he said stuff over the years that just set your hair on fire. But nevertheless, he got up and made a plea for AI to not only cure cancer. This is all future stuff, by the way. But he said, well, we're going to be able to detect cancer in your blood if you let us get away with this. If you give us all the reins we have, make AI really excel, we can look at your blood. AI can look at your blood and tell if you're going to ever have cancer in your life and what kind of cancer you're going to have. And
here's the drug we'll give you.
That's right. We'll manufacture a special mRNA vaccine just for you. Just think of the possibility, just for you, so that you don't have to worry about getting cancer in the future because you're now protected by our shot. Well, this is all future stuff for one thing.
Yeah.
But just imagine the implications of this is just I'll spell it out. When AI comes to you, and it doesn't matter what AI I suppose you have at that point, it's all learning off the same data, right? It gets trained on the same data. So it's going to basically give whatever the diagnosis for you, it's going to spit it out. If you get a diagnosis that you have cancer right now, maybe you don't have symptoms, but it's in your blood and you're going to get it within a year, or you may never get it. They say, well, you're predisposed to, you're probably going to get it in a few years, but you take care of it now. When the AI speaks to you the guy comes, a doctor or whatever technician comes to, oh, the AI says, man, you're up the creek. You need to have a shot.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get a second opinion? Forget it. Nah, science has spoken. Can't refute. You can't refute science. You can't refute our AI doctor or whatever analyst.
Or you can ask your Grok, but he's going to give you the same exact answer.
You bet. And now the challenge will be for you. Are you going to obey what it says to do, or not?
Yes.
Now you're going to see where the rubber hits the road for you, because if you refuse that treatment, I'll guarantee you're going to get cut off for any further medical treatment for that condition ever, because you refused the shot in the first place.
Your insurance premiums will go way up, and it may go all the way to you can't get on a train because you're going to cause the people in Missouri to get sick if you go over there.
Exactly. So that's a good point. You will see your insurance being canceled, perhaps, because now they know you were a knucklehead in the first place for refusing AI, right?
Yeah.
But even if you don't get canceled, you'll see a rider show up in your policy. You're excluded from this condition going forward. Maybe it's pancreatitis, maybe it's a bone cancer or whatever that the AI said you have or would have, and you'll never get coverage on that. So you're guaranteed to die from that when you get it in the future.
Yeah.
This is the heartbeat of the control system of technocracy, folks. There's just you just have to consider where this thing is going. You'll have no leeway in any direction. You either going to toe the line or you're going to be out of the system.
Yes. And if anybody doubts that a good chunk, perhaps a majority of the population won't get behind this, just look at the COVID debacle and how many people says anybody who hasn't had this shot shouldn't share a classroom with my children. They shouldn't be getting on airplanes. They shouldn't be traveling across state lines or country lines. That attitude hasn't died, I don't think.
Yeah, you're right. It hasn't. Now, some people have gotten wind of it, but at this point, maybe more people will figure out what Ellison was saying, basically.
Yeah.
To me, I heard him like everybody else heard him, but the alarm bells went off in my mind immediately what he was saying. He wants to control everything. This is the guy just a few months earlier, by the way, said in a conference, he talks about all this surveillance that's being levied against everybody in society. And he basically said, well, you can't get away with anything because we see what you do. Just like 1984.
Yes.
And how can that come out of a mouth of a person who's in control of the largest database company in the world? Only a technocrat could say something like that and get away with it, I guess. And nobody challenges him.
Well,
This guy should not have a stage anywhere, especially soapbox with the president. Oh my gosh. It's stunning that he would do that.
Yeah. I don't know what your technical expertise is on this, but what about the idea that the vaccine put, metallic nanotech devices into our blood, and also we're getting all sorts of metallic junk coming out of the spraying of our skies and so forth, and the fact that possibly the 5G towers can activate this stuff within us and it can be used as a weapon. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, actually, I do. Last fall, I organized a symposium called Omnivore with an international symposium from one PhD in England, another in Australia, another in Japan. I represented the scene here in America, and we discussed all these issues relating to Omnivore, basically that a war being prosecuted against every human domain that includes our bodies as well. This was addressed in two in our presentations. We covered this extensively, and yes, there were certain batches for sure. There were self-assembling something nanobots. I concluded personally that whatever test they were trying to run, it was just the first stage of the test. We'll see more of it in the future, but that was the first stage of the test. We also saw the payloads, two separate payloads in the vaccine. One is what strictly health related, where it messed with your immune system and your brain, organs in your body, et cetera. This has been totally documented at this point. People are still resisting. What was the other payload all about? These self-assembling structures that people see even to this day in their blood. Well, nobody has really cracked the design of the whole thing because we can't talk to the designer. That's if some point along the way, something will be leaked out, and we'll find out exactly what were you designing. It's definitely traced back to the military, however. That this is clear that DARPA was involved somehow in it, and other military organizations were involved in it. We know that Operation Warp Speed was all about military operation to deliver it to us and other countries around the world. So we see the military influence of the whole thing. But having said that, there's been a lot of speculation now, mostly from pop psychologists, or not serious scientific study.
Yeah.
There's been lots of speculation around that now that you have to discount a little bit. I do in any case. So the idea that 5G is going to kill us all. Well, that hasn't really matured in 5-6 years now,
Yep.
and it probably isn't going to happen that way. But there's other rumors that get started, and you can understandably so. People are afraid. They're afraid. What is the government doing? Who are these people behind this? Is it just big pharma? Is it a military? Who's doing this stuff to us? Well, they should be concerned. They should be concerned. But we know enough now, I think, to put some spikes in the ground on this. Yes, there was something in the vaccines, not all, but some of them. This is typical of A/B testing, by the way, that is usually done from any scientific experiment. So that you see, for instance, you see one batch of vaccines didn't do basically anything to anybody. Another batch did this. Another batch did something else from another group of people. But they were successful. Here, takeaway. They were successful at vaccinating over 72% of the world population.
Yes.
That tells you somebody else up high. This was not about America.
Yep.
There's this spanned the globe, and the nations that didn't get close to it, they came out just fine. By the way, so some African countries and some in South Africa or South America, they came out just fine.
Yep.
And the people that bought into it, well, how many billions of people do we have on our planet? It was over 7 billion, right?
Yep.
That means 72% of that was vaccinated with one or more shots.
Yep.
That's just stunning. That enough ought to be just alarm bells all over the place. What happened here that the whole world could be given this shot? These shots that are basically changing the way your body works in the first place. Who could do this but somebody maybe like a transhuman person or group of people who want to change the nature of humanity? Maybe the 2.0 humanity that
Yes.
Klaus Schwab talks about at the World Economic Forum, and Harari says technology is going to go under your skin now and basically become one with your body. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's fine for you, dude. I reject that. Just flat out.
Well, maybe we can put a positive twist on the end of this. Look, this
Sure.
is a $10 million question. I know, I have guys that say, hey, don't tell me about what's going on unless you give me a solution. And I don't necessarily agree with that, because I think some solutions require a minimum level of awareness, like a minimum level of people that are aware of what's going on. So I do think that informing, enlightening, waking people up is an end in itself. It's enough. But still, I do have to ask the question, besides just simply passing on this information, can you give us any other ideas in your quiver about how to foist these people that are trying to impose a technocracy on us?
I'll tell you, for the first thing, whatever role that you think somebody wants you to play, there's plenty of roles to be handed out in propaganda, whatever the government's saying. Don't play that role. I don't care. Dig your heels in. Just say, no, I'm not going to play that role. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to go along with it. I will resist it to the death. Yep. And this is something everybody can do, because we saw this during COVID. When they told you to wear a mask, you should have said to them, stuff it. Take your mask and shove it.
Yep.
We're not going to do that.
Yep.
We're not going to social distance. All these policies they put on it, they wanted everybody to play role. Everybody just caved on it.
Yeah.
You need not to cave anymore. Don't do that anymore. If you see a role coming, just say, I'm not going to do it, even if it's has other detriments to me. I'm not going to do that. For instance, I didn't fly during COVID. I had to give that up. I would not wear a mask, period.
Yep.
I told everybody I got contact with, I don't wear a mask. If you don't like it, too bad. Use simple explanations to get young people in your camp to think about what's going on. We need young people at this point. I'm so sick and tired of seeing all the gray hair and all these conferences. We need young people on our side.
Yes.
They're the ones that are going to have to deal with us. When we die, they're the ones that are going to be dealing with the whole mess. Here's an easy way to do it. Most people, young people, have entry-level jobs, rightly so. They're servers in restaurants. College students, you find them all the time in restaurants, waiting table, busing table, whatever. And when you go in for a service, maybe it's a restaurant, I'll use that as an example, always pay cash, at least the tip. Mm-hmm. If you can't pay for the bill, pull out your plastic, but always pay your tip in cash and hand it to the person and smile at them, say, I want you to have this cash. You know why? And they'll always smile. Oh, I want to see that. I like that cash, Look at them and explain why I'm giving you this cash, because I want you to put it in your pocket and spend it on anything you want to spend it on. It's your cash. It's your tip. All these people today, they're getting their tips from electronic systems days after the bills are cleared.
Yes.
They don't have a clue. There's no accountability for these people. They don't know what their tips are. They're not associated for the people that they served in the first place. So when you give them a tip, you said, the bankers are trying to strip cash out of our system right now. That's not a good thing, because if the internet goes out, you don't have a job, my friend. You can't wait tables if it goes out. Oh, most of them will say, well, you know what? The internet went out last week and they sent me out home. I didn't have any money at all. When you give them that cash, they'll be smiling at you and they say, thank you. You planted a seed in their brain that people are after them, and you're concerned about them, for one, but think about what's going on here, my friend. And you always get cash. If you can get cash in your pocket. That just sets a stage for you to talk about other things too, but that's the first step for most people, young people, and you can be a catalyst for that kind of introduction.
Very good. Very good. I like that. Well, Patrick Wood, you've been so generous to give us this extra time interview. It's been great to be with you again. I hope we are able to do it someday in person. Thanks a lot.
It'd be wonderful.
Great.